Kimraha Huludunya. How is everybody? Fauchagu, welcome to Olde Scot's Celtic Podcast. On today's show in Feuchamaich Beagan Gaidhlig, that's Let's Try a Little Gaelic, we will continue a 25 weeks beginner's Gaelic course with lesson 13, and that's about asking questions in the past tense. Now we will talk about the Black Douglas in our Celtic history segment. You hear about the Irish goddess Boann and everyday Celtic ways. And throughout the program, we're going to hear music from the Tidelines, the Corries, Beyond the Pale, Cara Dillon, and Kim Robertson. All right, and as always, it's a wee bit of Irish trivia to test your knowledge to start us off. And Gorta Mór, and that's Gaelic, the Irish Gaelic, which started in 1845, is known in English as what? All right, so tell me what Gorta Mór is. All right, check out the Olde Scot Facebook group, where you can be a part of Celtic culture, post memes, give me ideas, tips, even criticism, but to be nice. And a special welcome to the group now. I just posted the Beginner Gaelic course in Scotland, a beautiful group, and I got a bunch of people join the group. I'm thanking and for the reason of learning Gaelic, which is great. So welcome to Sheila Young Crownover, Jan Druick, Carrie Way Botkin, Bo Purdom, Dustin Regina, Angela Skabinski, and Leanne Reese Burrow. Kersh Maha. All right. That means all right then. Let's get things started.
Some Berlijne vie, good to eat gevaagd, kunnen eerst nog strie. Troet de vulle good dagie arkie, arkie, good dagie arkie. Kala niet kidi maar vader den loch, guldig nog visje vocht, nam wallig se gichtjen, trogade is tocht, zo'n bloedische gienelbus, hami en och. Troet de vulle gudagie arkie, genaatje voor jallig zijn Berlijne wie, gudu gevaagd, kun weers nog strie. Troet de vulle gudagie arkie, mag het ze ween, oh ik ken er gietje, dit haar je niks teen. Ach, ik zie die gele leon en die heen. Mogul ha je jingle, dus Jimmy en fjerst. Veer tu de schoslanige jalaf dan juist. Het judef met strijken, ze tuig kerst. De vier en dagen, de berst is de berst. Troet de vulle gudagie arkie, genachtje voor jallig zijn Berlijne wie, gudu gevaagd, kunnen eerst nog strie. Troet de vulle gudagie arkie,
Alright, that was Cothra by Tidelines. And now, Han Tom and Feuchamaich Beagan Gaidhlig, it's time for Let's Try a Little Gaelic. Now, I'm not an authority on the Gaelic language, I just love learning it. I struggle like most learners and I want to help. What I teach comes right from well-respected Gaelic teachers, so I hope you find it interesting, informative, and fun. Now, I will display on the screen what I am discussing so you can follow along. Today we'll be in that 25-part Gaelic lesson. We're in lesson 13 and it's asking questions in the past tense. Now, one of the most important things you can learn is how to recognize the tenses quickly. All too often, this is what causes us learners to pause when we are reading or listening to Gaelic, and makes us look foolish when we're talking to somebody who speaks Gaelic better than we do. So, just figure out what the tenses look like, recognize them immediately, and you'll be good to go. Alright, questions. We're going to work on these question words. Ko, which means who. Kova shin, who was there. Kova akan doris, who was at the door. Kimmer, which is how. Kimmer ava a, how was he. Alright, kun, which is when. Kunyava e achien, when was she coming? Alright, J, which is what. Java uajanev, what were you doing? Koviet, how many? Now this is sometimes spelled Kieviet, but you don't see that as often as you used to. Koviet ku ava akit, how many dog were at you? Alright, Carson, why? Carson ava and cat and show, why was the cat here? Alright, now the last one is Katja, and beware. It's because Katja will always be different. Katja, which is where, as we said. Katja in Ro and Dunya, where was the man? Katja in Ro and Dunya Shin, where was that man? Alright, now we're going to move on to some vocabulary. Andoris, the door. Achien, coming. Adol, going. Ajanev, doing or making. And Unyuk, the window. Fosklicha, open. Dune, closed. And Dunya, the man. Ku, dog. Cat, cat. Alright. And we do it at the end of every lesson. We got 6 sentences here for you to translate. And the first one is Kimra Vashiv. 2. Kova akan doris. 3. Kunyava iat achien. 4. Jayava uajanev. 5. Anro ak and unyik. 6. Carcinova and Doris Fosklicha. Alright, that's it for Feuchamaich Beagan Gaidhlig. Hope you enjoyed it.
There was a man, say dark and true, was Scotland loot say dear. There was a king on land will rule, the Scot what flayed himself. Gan cry the hounds of Douglas Vale, gan string the Attrick ball, gan warn the spears of Liddesdale, that at Goggle leads the foe. He wore the cross who Andrew bore by the steps of Calvary. He won the sword who Robert bore by the field of Calvary. Gan shear the chains of slavery, gan dance my liege man Lee, gan ring the bell of liberty, shod with a metal free. He won his spurs to bison pride upon the green say free. He held the leopard and the tide by the field of Lenterley. Gan shine the shield your father bore, gan strike your metal free. Gan shine the helm your father wore by the field of Torley. He raged nicht when it was muck, down by the leopard's lair. He chased the tyrant in his shirt around the field say fair. Gan pack your bags, ye English loons, gan tag your banner hame, gan tag your king was Salter Croon and lost the bloody game. Gan tag your king was Salter Croon and lost the bloody game.
Alright, that was The Black Douglas by the Coreys. And that's tribute to what we're talking about today on Celtic History Break, and that is who was the Black Douglas. Now, to the Scots, he was known as Good Sir James Douglas. To the English, the staunch ally of Robert de Bruce was known more sinisterly as the Black Douglas. Given the ferocity of the battle-hardened knight, the skilled fighter has been overshadowed in time by his heroic leader, but the deeds of Douglas offer a powerful thread in the story of 14th century Scotland and the unbridled violence of the Wars of Independence. Now, born in 1286 into a family loyal to the Scottish crown, his grandfather was killed alongside William Wallace, and his father murdered in an English jail for his support of the hero. Now, after returning to Scotland at age 18, after a time in Paris, Douglas witnessed the seizure of his family's land by Edward I. Now, after supposedly meeting Bruce near Moffat, following the murder of rival Red Comyn in 1306, the scene was set for Douglas's lifelong fighting career alongside Scotland's new king. Now, the next year on Palm Sunday, Douglas attacked the English garrison at his family seat of Douglas Castle in Dumfries and Galway. Now, most of the English soldiers had left the castle to attend Mass when the Scots attacked. Entering the church to the war cry, Douglas, Douglas, the massacre later became known as the Douglas Larder, giving the English soldiers who survived the attack were taken to the castle's cellar where they were beheaded. Now, their heads were mounted on a stack of broken wine casks and set aflame. According to accounts, the castle itself was also set on fire. Douglas's ability to pounce and trounce a larger army earned him a feared reputation with the English troops. Now, in February of 1314, Black Douglas moved to capture Roxburgh Castle in the borders, with his men ordered to cloak themselves in cowhides and crawl on their hands and knees towards the castle after dark. The guards fell for the ruse, and Scots used hooks and rope ladders to scale the walls. Now, after fighting alongside Bruce at Bannockburn, Douglas was given free rein to fight under his own flag and cut a bloody swath across the English border, burning crops and villages and terrorizing the local population. Folk songs were recited by mothers to reassure their young that they were safe from everything, and that not even the wicked Black Douglas could harm them. I'm not a great singer, but part of that goes, "Hushy, hushy, little pet ye, hushy, hushy, do not fret ye, the Black Douglas shall not get ye." Ooh, sends a shiver up my spine. Now, the death of Robert de Bruce in June 1329 led to a powerful pilgrimage of Douglas and a hand-picked group of high-status followers to Jerusalem to take the leader's heart on a crusade to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Douglas carried the embalmed heart of Bruce in a cask round his neck as the men set sail on the mission, with a promise that it would be returned to Melrose Abbey to its final resting place. The men, who were joined by more supporters in Flanders, incorporated a stop in Spain after hearing of a crusade by Alfonso XI of Castile against the Muslims of Granada. Now, Douglas and his men joined Alfonso's army after arriving in Seville, and were too soon they came into contact with the Moors near Teba, a castle on the frontier of Andalusia. Well, the battle came to a swift, satisfactory conclusion for Alfonso, but, not being fully aware of the mode of warfare, Douglas found himself deserted by his men. His end clearly upon him. The story, of course, is recounted by Sir Walter Scott, goes that Douglas removed the casque from around his neck, declared aloud, "Pass first and fight, as thou won't do, and Douglas will follow thee or die." And then he charged the enemy one last time. When the surviving Scots searched the field, they found Douglas dead, hewed with 5 deep wounds, but with the casque unharmed. Douglas's flesh was boiled from his bones as per the usual custom for long-distance transport of noble remains, and his heart was removed. Now, a companion to that of Bruce, his skeleton was interred in St. Bride Kirk in his home village of Douglas. Alright, that's it for Celtic History Break. Hope you liked it.
And the first one of the year, Lord Donald's wife came into the church, the gospel for to hear. And when the meeting it was done, she cast her eyes about. There she saw little Matty Groves walking through the crowd. Come home with me, little Matty Groves, come home with me tonight. Come home with me, little Matty Groves, sleep with me till light. I can't come home, I won't come home, sleep with you tonight. By the rings on your fingers I can tell you are Lord Donald's wife. But if I am Lord Donald's wife, Lord Donald's not west and ran. When he came to the broad mill stream, he took off his shoes and swam. He lay down and he took a little sleep. When he awoke, Lord Donald was standing at his feet, saying, "How do you like my feather bed? How do you like my sheets? And how do you like my lady fair who lies in your arms asleep?" "Oh, it's well I like your feather bed, and well I like your sheets, but it's better I like your lady gay who lies in my arms asleep." "Well, get up, Lord Donald cried, get up as quick as you can. It'll never be said in this fair land that I slew a naked man." "Oh, I can't get up, I won't get up, I can't get up for my life, for you have two long beaten swords, and I but a pocket knife." "I have two beaten swords and they cost me deep in the purse, but you will have the better of them and I will have the worse. And you will strike the very first blow and strike it like a man. I will strike the very next blow and I'll kill you if I can." Struck the very first blow and he hurt Lord Donald sore. Lord Donald struck the very next blow, then Matty struck no more. And then Lord Donald he took his wife and he sat her on his knee, saying, "Who do you like the best of us, Matty Groves or me?" And then up spoke his own dear wife, never heard to speak so free, "I'd rather a kiss from dead Matty's lips than you or your finery." Lord Donald he jumped up, his broadsword he did draw, he struck his wife right through the heart and pinned her against the wall. A grave, Lord Donald cried, "to put these lovers in, but bury my lady at the top, for she was of noble kin."
Alright, that was Matty Groves by Beyond the Pale. And now it's time for Everyday Celtic Ways. Today we're going to talk about the Irish goddess Boann. Sometimes it's Boann or Boinn, how you spell it, B-O-I-N-D or B-O-I-N-N, but most of the time it's B-O-A-N-N. And she is considered the goddess of water, fertility, inspiration, and knowledge. Her name is interpreted as white cow, Bo for cow, and Fian for white in the Irish. Now, in the Dinsecus, meaning the lore of places, the Dinsecus is a class of onomastic texts in the early Irish literature. It recounts the origins of place names and traditions concerning events and characters. The modern Irish word Dinsecus means topography. Now, according to the Lebar Gabala Erin, the Irish Book of Invasions, she was the daughter of Delbeth of the Tuath Dedanan. Her husband had various names: Nectin, Elkmar, but the one you see the most is Nuada Eragetalam. Her lover, though, is the Dagda, by whom she had her son Angus. Now, in order to hide their affair, Dagda made the sun stand still for 9 months. Therefore, Angus was conceived, gestated, and born in 1 day. Now, as told in Dinsectus, Boann created the Boyne River. Though forbidden to by her husband, Boann approached the magical well of Sagais, also known as Conla's Well, which was surrounded by hazels. Hazelnuts were known to fall into the well, where they were eaten by the speckled salmon, who, along with hazelnuts, also embody and represent wisdom in Irish mythology. Now, Boann challenged the power of the well by walking around it windershines, which means in the direction contrary to the sun's course, considered as unlucky or counterclockwise. This caused the waters to surge up violently and rush down to the sea, which created the Boyne River. Now, in this catastrophe, she was swept up and along with the rushing waters. She lost an arm, a leg, an eye, and ultimately her life in the flood. That's it for Everyday Celtic Ways.
Of all the money that I had, I've spent it in good company, and all the harm that I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fell to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Of all the comrades that e'er I've had, they are sorry for my going away, and all the sweethearts that e'er I've had, they would wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls onto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and I'll softly call. Good night and joy be with you all. A man may drink and not be drunk, a man may fight and not be slain, a man may court a pretty girl and perhaps be welcome back again. But since it has so ordered been, by a time to rise and a time to fall, come fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Come fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all.
Alright, and that was The Parting Glass by Cara Dillon. Well, that's it for today's show. I hope you liked it. I'm trying to keep it interesting, informative, fun, while showing you the beauty of all things Celtic. Now, Tapaleva Herchen, which means thank you, my friends. And now, before I let you go, the trivia question answer. And Gorta Mór, in Irish Gaelic, which started in 1845, is known in English as the Great Famine. Yeah, the potato famine. Alright, remember to check out my YouTube channel, Olde Scot. It's got Learn a Gaelic song videos, my Celtic podcast videos, speaking our language videos, Celtic movies and music, and plenty of other videos as well. Check out my Facebook group, Olde Scot, where you can give me your insights, input on all things Celtic. I also have a 25-part beginner's Gaelic course there, which seems to be getting pretty popular these days. Alright, so check that out too. Martian leave in Drazda. Bye for now. But I'm going to leave you with a song. The Quiet Land of Erin by Kim Robertson.